The hospital lobby gleamed with wealth, marble floors reflecting golden lights, the faint scent of expensive polish in the air, and a towering Christmas tree standing proudly like a symbol of joy that didn't belong to everyone. People walked in tailored suits, voices calm, controlled, until suddenly, the glass doors burst open. A woman stumbled in, her clothes torn, her face streaked with dirt and tears, clutching a small girl in her arms. The child looked pale, fragile, barely conscious. Her tiny fingers clung weakly to her mother's shirt as if holding onto life itself. The entire lobby seemed to pause, but no one moved. No one except her. "Please, save my daughter," her voice cracked, trembling, echoing louder than it should have in such a quiet, expensive place. She rushed toward the reception desk, her steps unsteady, her desperation unmistakable. The receptionist froze, caught between protocol and humanity. "Ma'am, do you have an appointment?" she asked hesitantly, her voice almost apologetic. The woman shook her head violently, tears falling faster now. "She can't breathe properly. Please, I don't have time for appointments." "I'll pay. I'll pay anything." She pulled out crumpled bills from her pocket, hardly enough to cover even a consultation in this hospital. And that's when he heard it. Standing just a few steps away was Dr. Armin Hale, the hospital's most renowned doctor, a man known not only for his brilliance but for his wealth. He wasn't just a doctor, he was a millionaire, a figure of prestige, someone who had built his empire from skill and cold, calculated decisions. He had seen countless patients, countless pleas. And over time, something inside him had hardened. Emotions were distractions. Rules were rules. But something about that voice, it stopped him. Slowly, he turned his head. His sharp eyes landed on the woman, and then on the child. For a brief moment, everything else faded. The noise, the people, the polished perfection of the hospital, it all disappeared. All he could see was that little girl, barely breathing, her face hauntingly familiar. A flicker of something long buried stirred inside him. The receptionist glanced at him, unsure. "Doctor," she whispered. Everyone expected the same response they had always seen. A polite refusal. A reminder of hospital policy. But instead, Dr. Armin began to walk forward. Each step was deliberate, heavy with something no one could quite understand. He stopped right in front of the woman. Up close, he could see the desperation in her eyes, the way her hands trembled not from weakness but from fear of losing everything. "What's her name?" he asked quietly. The woman blinked, surprised. Sarah," she whispered. His jaw tightened. Sarah. The name hit him like a sudden storm. Memories rushed in, memories of a little girl with the same name, laughter echoing in a home he had once abandoned for ambition. For a second, his composure cracked. But then, just as quickly, he regained control. He turned sharply toward the staff. "Get a stretcher. Now." The room froze. No one moved at first. They had never seen him act without considering payment, without paperwork. His voice rose, commanding, unyielding. "Now." The spell broke. Nurses rushed forward. A stretcher was brought in, and the child was gently taken from her mother's arms. The woman stumbled, as if her strength had been holding on only for that moment. "Doctor. I don't have money, but I'll do anything. Please just save her," she sobbed. Dr. Armin looked at her, not as a wealthy man looking at poverty, but as a human seeing another human at their breaking point. "You already paid," he said calmly. She looked confused. "What?" He glanced at the child being rushed toward the emergency room. "With your courage to bring her here." The staff exchanged stunned looks. This wasn't the man they knew. This wasn't the cold, calculated millionaire doctor. This was someone else entirely. Hours passed like years. The mother sat outside the operating room, her hands clasped tightly, lips moving in silent prayers. Every second felt heavier than the last. And inside, Dr. Armin fought, not just for the child's life, but against the walls he had built around his own heart. The surgery was complicated. Critical. At one point, the machines beeped dangerously. The room tensed. But he didn't give up. Not this time. Not again. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the doors opened. The mother shot to her feet, her eyes wide with fear. Dr. Armin stepped out, removing his gloves, his face unreadable. "Doctor," she whispered, barely able to breathe. He paused, and then, for the first time in years, a small, genuine smile appeared on his face. "She's going to be okay." The woman collapsed into tears, relief washing over her like a tidal wave. She tried to speak, to thank him, but words failed her. He nodded slightly, as if understanding everything she couldn't say. As she was taken to see her daughter, one of the nurses approached him. "Sir, the billing, what should we?" He cut her off gently. "There will be no bill." Her eyes widened. "But sir, consider it a reminder," he said quietly, "of why we became doctors in the first place." As he walked away, the staff watched in silence. Something had changed. Not just in him, but in the air itself. Compassion had returned to a place that had forgotten it. And somewhere inside Dr. Armin, a piece of his lost humanity had found its way back. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that kindness still exists in this world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Because every story we share is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, humanity can shine the brightest.